This is the channeled message dated on the 12th of June 2021. I've just been tapping in this morning and really getting this message from guidance, from spirit, from source energy. And I really want to share this with you. I'm hoping that I can gift you the feeling that I've been getting as well as the actual words that are coming, because it's the feeling that invokes, my mind has to then invoke the words so that you can understand where I'm coming from. So let's see if we can do this. So first of all, they were showing me this Fibonacci sequence. And in the Fibonacci sequence, every time there was this new frong that came off that made a pattern, there would be an error, a small slight error. And they were showing me humanity in itself as consciousness, being that error in this moment. And they were showing me that in that error, there was this tightness, this feeling of uncomfortableness, this newness of itself, but it was holding on to an old program of what was happening before, and the consciousness of humanity was still grasping it so tightly that it was like an arrow being pulled back, like one of those archery arrows. And in that tension within that elasticity that was pulled back was every single person's reality, holding on to the fear of what was going to happen next and not wanting to let go of the old programs and everything and the limitation. And they were showing me that someone in a family might be like really concerned that their loved one was going to say take the vaccine, or that their loved one wasn't going to take the vaccine, and each side of that was in that respect a limitation of the program, and not realizing the inward self of who they were, of a soul in essence expanding, becoming just before the breath. So just before the breath there is always a stop, a stillness, and in that stillness of, like, say for instance we take a breath and then we pause and then we exhale. So we go exhale, breath. And then every time we went into our breath, we were coming into what that felt like, and what we had created. And every time we went outward, we would be expanding something into something new if we took it out to a vibrational match of humanity's consciousness over the whole. And so humanity was coming into itself, into that tightness of who it was, and created what it did. And now it is in a moment of shifting into something absolutely expansive. And so that's why the tension feels so tight at the moment for many souls, of feeling this uncomfortableness within holding on to the edge of the cliff before, and not realizing that if they jumped into the unknown, into this expansiveness, they could shift anything that they wanted, any sort of creation that they wanted to move into. The evolution of humanity has come to a point where they could jump into absolute potential of what their imagination could conjure up, could imagine, could experience. And there was this feeling, the feeling of who they were individually, each and every one of you individually, of who you are. The more you feel this tension, this tightness of holding on to, oh my God, the story is going to develop a certain way. The story is going to only happen this way. You know, there'll be a split, and there's only going to be a certain amount of us, and we're going to have to leave our loved ones, and we're not going to be able to experience life as we want it. We have to have this woeful, terrible separation of ourselves. That is the limited story. That is consciousness and its ball of itself experiencing such uncomfortableness, that when it realizes it is the creator of its own reality, that you are the creator of your own reality, and that you can imagine into your reality the most magnificent, beautiful scenario of this reality, and become that story in expansion, that release, that next exhale of breath becomes so unique and so freeing and so euphoric and so feels so amazingly good. Becomes the Fibonacci's next pattern that you are creating within your own reality. They are constantly telling me that you are the only point of this reality. There is only one existence. The existence is you. You are the essence of you creating into this reality. And every single one of you is that existence creating into reality. There is nothing outside of your you and your reality here right now. So they're asking, do you want a life of absolute bliss, or do you want to keep holding on to that story so tight? It won't ever happen. It won't ever be held on to for the rest of eternity. It will be moving sooner or later. It will have to move, because that is the breath of life. That is how source energy, oneness is. It doesn't matter if you're a leader, if you're a mega rich person, it doesn't make any difference. That person's reality is still going to feel uncomfortable until they realize that they can create their own reality from their own, and the realization that everything else around them that they feel they have control of is part of them, that there is no need to even control anything outside of itself, because it is a part of who they are. There is no difference between who they are and who they see themselves as in the creation and the flow of their next experience, and who everybody else is. That person, everyone else is just that mirror. So even as the leaders become so frigid in their creation, they see everyone else becoming frigid as well around them, and they see everyone else having anxiety and not feeling like they can cope, because they aren't coping. They aren't coping within their own reality of what they're creating within themselves. And absolutely every single person on this planet can at any given time decide, no, I am going to be the creator of my reality, and I'm expanding from here. I'm deciding what I'm going to watch. I'm deciding how my life is going to be. I'm deciding whether my next step is going to be into bliss, or whether my next step is going to be into limitation, allowing somebody else to dictate what I should or should not do. It's just the most incredible feeling of expansion I'm having at the moment. And they're also saying that this will come and go in waves until we really do decide 100% that leap is made. It's almost like we're taking a step forward towards the edge of the cliff, and we're seeing the unknown below us, and we're going, oh my God, it's there. I can see it. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel into the beauty of it. But we haven't actually taken that giant leap off and said, no, 100%, I am the creator of my reality. No one else can dictate to me what's going to happen, because I'm responsible for every single move that I make next towards my beauty, towards my bliss, towards the expansion of where I'm going. And with that comes all these gifts. With that, all these gifts open up, because you're expanding your awareness to saying that you are more than what the limited program that we experienced before, which was beautiful in itself, which we experienced for a good reason. We are more than that. And so that this whole new caboodle of some weird word they say, caboodle, kitten of, I don't know what that means, but whole new expansion is at your doorstep right here, right now, in this very moment, in this very breath. So yeah, that's my message for today. I love you guys. Bye.